Good morning, YouTube. So today we're making another batch of our Volkswagen shift weight. So these go with our shift linkage kits. This is an A1 rod. We also have the A2 version, or A2 and A3. The later model version is shorter, and we use a larger diameter rod to make up some of the lost weight. But this is a 1-inch diameter 25 millimeter steel rod, and what we have to do is turn down both ends to 8 millimeter so we can thread the end to accept our rod ends. So we're trying some new steel this time. This is a 12L14 alloy. So this is a carbon steel that has a small amount of lead added to it to make it free machining. So yeah, we're taking a 100 thousandths cut off the diameter, or 50 thousandths on each side, and then doing a pretty high feed rate. Let me show you a couple of passes here. Final pass. Yeah, and there's our finished dimension. We go shoot for a little under 8 millimeters, so we get a nice thread finish. I've got one more of these to do, and then we'll go on to threading. Now it's time to thread these, since I've got them all turned down to roughly 8 millimeters. Kick on the lathe here, and I've slowed the speed down for threading. Holding this with my left hand, it's a little awkward with the camera here. I'll turn that on. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, that works out. So there we've got our thread. I usually do the 2 passes like that. And then I come in and just smooth off the threads a little bit, round over that corner a bit, and then I got some emery cloth here. Just give it a light sanding like that. We'll just wipe this down with some acetone, and then it's ready to paint. Okay, we've got the weights wiped down, and in our painting jig here, give them a few more coats during the day, flip them over until you get a nice even finish on there. I'll show you when we put the hardware on there, see what they look like. Yeah, and then once we get the weights painted, we put the hardware on. Then once we screw the jam nuts on there, we put on the rod ends. So these are what are called ball stud rod ends, and they fit over the factory ball studs. These are 13 millimeter diameter balls. And then on the factory linkage, they're actually welded in place. And these rod ends here fit over that ball stud. They clip on. There's a spring-loaded retaining clip in there. Once you put the rod end on, we also supply these safety clips that go in, and that locks this permanently in place. Put one of those on each end, like that. And these are all adjustable, so you can move the length in or out. And you can also change the orientation of the rod ends to get better linkage alignment. So we go into detail on that on the web page, but that's the real benefit of having these threaded rod ends, is that you can change the length, you can change the orientation, and then they're a very secure fit, unlike the plastic factory parts. And there's a total of 4 of these on the factory setup. 2 of the pieces are like this. This is what's called the relay shaft. This sits in the vehicle if you were looking from the front, and down here your shift lever in the vehicle pulls and pushes on this ball here, causing this to swing side to side, and then that's what this attaches to here. This piece here normally has a rubber bushing in there that the factory shift rod fits into. What we do to eliminate the bushing so you don't have any bushing wear or play is we supply ball studs that can drop in here, and they've got a metal bushing that fits in here like that, fills up that hole, and then there's a serrated lock nut that goes on the bottom. Once you tighten that together, there's no play at all here. That's a solid connection. We offer what's called a short throw kit. So we have this clamp piece that bolts over there, and then we have this extension piece that goes over the top, and a washer and a nut, and you put this whole piece together, and now what you've done is lengthen this relay shaft, and for that we supply a ball stud without a bushing on it that just fits into that hole there, and then that's what connects up to this shift rod. So yeah, that's how we make our weighted shift rods. We have the short throw, we've got the full linkage with all three pieces in metal. We've got the replacement ball studs. So for instance, if your original ball stud like this one it's still serviceable, but you might want to replace it because all the plating has been worn away. If you need to replace it, what you need to do is grind off this weld, center punch it, and then drill through with a 5/16 or 8mm drill bit from the back side until this will break free, and then that leaves you with a 8mm hole, and then you just put one of these in place and put a nut on it. So we can get you the replacements for these parts. And likewise, we have the replacements for these. You can take this rubber piece off the end, and we have a Delrin replacement that presses on. So yeah, we can get you a fully rebuilt shift linkage. So there'll be a link to the web page down in the video description. Also in the end screen, I'll put a link over here. We've got a lot of information on all of this. It's more than you would really want to cover in a video. There's a lot of information there, but we want you to be informed on what you're purchasing. We don't want to just sell you a kit in a box. We want you to know, like, oh, I need this piece, or I need to replace this thing here. We can get you that part. We can get you this part. We can get you these bushings. We can get you all the little pieces. We can also sell you everything in a kit. Anyway, so yeah, if you have any questions about the VW shift linkage, so again, this is for the A1, A2, and A3 models. The Rabbits, Scirocco, Jetta, Cabriolet, pickup, all of those platforms with the transverse engine and transaxle up front with the shift linkage, and this will work on right-hand and left-hand drives. They're all pretty much the same. You can find contact details on the web page, as well as a deeper explanation if you want to find out how all this works. So anyway, I thought I'd show you how we build the shift weights there, and if you have any questions about that, you can post up in the comments section down below. And as always, thanks for watching.